The following is a N.E.R.D Productions podcast.
Hi, I'm Eric, and this is Larry.
Hi, I'm Annie, and everything I'm wearing, I thrifted.
And this is Eric and Annie Talk About.
Larry is not in frame on either of the cameras.
Bring Larry in closer.
There we go.
Bing, bing,
Hi, everybody.
bing,
I'm Larry.
Bing, 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 bing.
The reason why you named him Larry?
No. That just made sense. And he used to be very white, but now he is like egg color. He's like the color of an egg. And he's a platypus, but in
He's
my
Larry
heart,
the platypus.
in my heart, he's a duck. Which makes no sense, but look at his feet.
Could be a duck. He doesn't really have a tail.
I fear his little tag when I got him said platypus.
platypus.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I fear, and I think you can still buy these at Dollar Tree. You can have your very own Larry, but it doesn't have
Is
to be
that
named
going to
Larry.
become another show mascot?
I think he might because he lives on our couch now.
That's true.
Tell him the story behind Larry, dear.
I was trying to remember the story behind Larry. But so I was telling Roger, but I wasn't sure what it was.
I don't 100% remember either. I just remember you bought him for me when we were dating.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's very good to squish. And I like the
He's very
texture of
squishy.
his skin.
Is that
It's
almost
like-
corduroy?
yeah, almost, but like better. I like it. Anyway,
Yeah.
Andy.
What would you say is the
oh,
best outfit that you've ever thrifted? Best item that you've ever found?
Well, I do have this jacket, and it has like red and yellow flowers on it. And every time I wear it, I get
The
like
denim one?
5,000 compliments.
That's
yeah,
true.
And I love that one. I just wish it was my size because it's size small.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to like suck in everything to fit in it. But I still wear it anyway.
Well, it was small when you bought it, right?
Oh yeah, it's like a size
and
extra
as
small.
you get older,
Yeah. Well, I
you were
wasn't
probably shorter when you got it too, right? When did you get it?
like the summer 2023.
That was
I
a
would
while
say-
ago, love.
Yeah.
Girls kind of stop growing. They're like 16.
Do they though?
I was 16 when I got it, so maybe I just had a little bit more growing in me. I almost didn't get it because it was too small.
Once your growth plates get together, it happens between 16 and 19 for girls, and then boys it's like 30.
Wow.
But not really.
Yeah, like, that's fake
They
news,
grow
Say,
actually.
yeah, but that ain't happening for me.
Oh, tell
fake news.
the people the fact that you learned last night.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if the people need to know that. But I'll tell them anyway because, I don't know. Disturbing fact of the day. I'm going to tell them how I know it too. So yesterday we were at Eric's parents' house and we were all just sitting watching TV or something, and I made a comment because somebody's eyes were like really big, or they had their eyes open really big, and my father-in-law says, you know, your eyes never grow. You have the same size eyes from when you're a baby to when you're fully grown. And I don't like that. That makes me very uncomfortable. And I don't like knowing that fact. And it's been playing on repeat in my head.
You want another one?
Almost as frightening as that your ears never stop.
Your ears never stop growing?
No!
They never stop
They grow
growing.
forever.
My
It's like-
ears.
That's why old people have such big ears. You know, like you see an old man and he has ears like the size of a Ferengi.
Which I feel like that can't be true.
Yes.
How do the ears keep growing? But it does seem to be true. But I don't know. Like, why
Yeah.
do your ears grow?
So you can hear
That's-
more and more as you get older.
Actually, that might be.
But you hear less and less as you get older. Also, almost name drop
Exactly.
somebody I know who has big ears. So I won't do that. But
The Ferengi.
The Ferengi. Live, laugh, lobes. I saw a sign and it was Quark from Deep Space Nine and it said live, laugh, lobes. Annie doesn't know who I'm talking about. Let me pull up a picture really quick.
dear.
It's an alien from a Star Trek show.
Oh. I wouldn't know because Star Trek is kind of stupid in my opinion. I've never seen it though, so I can't really say that, but it looks
The
stupid.
original Star Trek, that's not good.
It's a
But,
little weird.
The spin-offs?
They had really big ears.
Oh
And that's what old
my!
people
It even
ears
goes
look
into
like.
his eyebrows.
Yes. They're known for their ears, and they always talk about the lobes, their
Oh.
earlobes. And so I found a sign that was his face, and it said "Live, Laugh, Lobes."
That is pretty
And I like
funny.
it very much. We need to get that for Dad.
Oh my goodness.
Live, Laugh, Lobes.
I
On the mantle.
Oh, I see.
I can't. Star Trek has always looked dumb to me, but I used to always
Star
say
Trek-
that Star Wars was dumb too, and I love.
Star Trek is harder to get into than Star Wars.
Then I would probably never get into it.
It's so much to grasp. And also, when you think about it, Star Trek is basically Star Wars if you rooted for the Empire.
That's interesting.
Because Star Trek, I mean, they're portrayed as the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think about it, they kind of just colonize everywhere, which people aren't too big of fans of anymore.
True.
And they fly around, and it's very much villain of the week, problem of the week sort of thing most of the time.
Oh.
Like, you're flying around, everybody's getting sick and being really sleepy. And then they find around that when they visited a planet, they picked up some kind of space parasite that's making everybody sleepy.
So it's like a different episode story instead of like a running.
Every now and then they'll do a running story throughout a couple episodes, but most of the time it's episode to episode.
See,
and it's like almost an hour.
It's almost an hour, they're long.
45 minutes.
I really don't like long shows that much.
I remember one time we were watching Star Trek The Next Generation, and I was sick. And me and Dad were both kind of sick, and we were sitting in the living room, and for whatever reason, Mom let the vacuum salesman in the house on a Sunday afternoon, and I was sick, and I was just sitting there. We watched Star Trek, and he was going on with his thing forever, and then he's like, "Wow, you've watched about 4 episodes of Star Trek since I've been here. That means I've been here for like 4 hours."
Oh.
Yeah, buddy, take the hint. Once Star Trek ends, get out.
Yeah, Star Trek used to be on Netflix.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's how it
I think a part of the reason I don't like Star Trek is because my dad doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So he never really watched it growing up.
That's fair.
Because he had seen so much of it, because Mama loves it.
Doesn't Mama love Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Original Star Trek is so strange.
I don't like
just
original.
not-
I know people.
The Tribbles, but
I'll watch the Tribbles episode.
I watched the Deep
It's
Space
called The
Nine.
Trouble with Tribbles.
Oh.
And it's. But the old
There
Star
you
Trek,
go.
people probably don't agree with this, but it's not really all that good. Also, Gene Roddenberry, the guy who made it, was such a lefty weirdo.
That makes sense.
It
Everybody.
feels so timeless.
It does.
'Cause
It feels
remember-
like partially a part of a time, but like the quality and the style of
Always
it.
takes place on the ship. They almost, I mean, very rarely do they.
They don't
leave.
go on planets, all that, but they also have
the holodeck.
the holodeck.
Where you just go
That's-
in and it's just like VR, but
And it
you're
creates
in.
a world in this room that you're on,
So
right?
there's like
That sounds
episodes where it's a
horrible.
Western, or
There's
episodes
episodes where they go
it's
back into Sherlock Holmes. But there's this android character I told you about him named Data,
Yes.
and he's read all the Sherlock Holmes books, but he can read a book and he can just like flip through it and he's read it, right?
Yeah.
He's that advanced. So he's read all the Sherlock Holmes stories and he likes to live them out in the holodeck, right? But he's like, "Hey, computer, make a villain for my Sherlock Holmes adventure that is capable of outsmarting me." Because if he knows all the stories, he can't be outsmarted. So make a new
Right.
story that can outsmart me. And then it turns evil and like takes over the whole ship.
Oh.
Because it has
That
to outsmart
sounds
Data.
kind of okay. I
Some
don't
of them
know.
are fun. Some of them are less fun. But overall, I would say
game.
Star Trek is pretty good. Oh, the game.
I just honestly don't think I'd watch it. Or care.
I feel like at some point we should watch a little. But it's not like one that you have to see every episode in my mind.
No, honestly, you should probably watch like the first episode.
Next
and-
Generation.
the
You should
Next
watch The
Generation,
Waltons.
Next
and then, like, skip
Generation
to season 2.
is one that I like. I like that show. And I like Deep Space Nine. And I never got into the original or Voyager or any of the others.
There are like
No.
romances that begin and end, and they're with the same characters, and then characters die, and it's like what happened.
But is
in
it
the last
worth
episode?
it?
It's a lot of content. But what
It's a
happens
lot.
in the last episode has bearing on the next episode, but they just don't like address it.
It's not like what happened last time,
Oh.
that kind of thing.
They just fix it. Like, whatever it is.
It's basically a problem, fix it. Or problem, to be continued, problem, fix it.
Yeah, it's fixed. So,
Then they got in that weird thing where Odo was like almost a bad guy in Deep Space Nine, and I wasn't for that. And the whole Dominion War thing. Also, I thought I had seen the end of Deep Space Nine. And then we started watching through it again, and there was a whole other war that I didn't know of.
Instead of them being on a ship that goes places, they're in a space station that doesn't.
Stays in the same place.
But there's a wormhole that, like, people can, like, just zoom right there. And then it, like, opens up, and then they're, like, right at the space station. And then they go back in the wormhole, and then they can continue. So, like, if they need to refuel or whatever, they can just kind of, like, teleport to the space station.
Is that how that works?
I mean, honestly,
I don't think that's how it worked.
That sounds ridiculous to me. The only reason I would ever watch it is if you like really cared and really wanted me to experience it with you. It sounds so dumb.
Like, I don't know.
That sounds
Stupid.
absolutely ridiculous to me.
It's so weird, but like, and it was like 80s, 90s.
But all the characters are so lovable.
It doesn't feel
They're
like
ugly.
anything that was made in the 80s. It doesn't feel like anything that was made in any time. It feels like
It feels like Star Trek.
in the future or whatever.
Like Quark, that guy that I showed you, he's always got like some kind of scheme that he's working on to get money because his like alien race is very greedy.
Oh.
What is it? The rules?
The laws of acquisition.
But here's my thing. I don't like sci-fi. I don't like things like that. Star Wars is the only exception for me. And even Star Wars sometimes gets a little weird for me. That's the weirdest I want to
what
get.
examples?
I don't know. I think mostly just the creatures are very strange to me, some of them.
But you like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, because he's incredible. It's about his personality, not his looks.
Weird too.
Yeah, but then you got Jabba.
Did you know?
You got what's the guy's name with the Bib Fortuna?
Ah, yes, she's got it.
He's ugly, and I hate him.
She saw him the first time we watched Return of the Jedi. She's like, "What on earth is that?"
Every time I see that thing, I don't like him. Now, somebody who is ugly, who I kind of like, is Maul.
I thought you didn't. Oh, you don't like how Darth Maul looks.
He's ugly.
I think she likes him more that he's been in Rebels.
Oh,
Yeah, because
he's cool in Rebels. Darth Maul honestly is not that great in the movie. But that's the same thing with Boba Fett.
Well, honestly,
Boba Fett in the movie, he looks cool, and then the first chance he ever gets in a fight, he gets killed.
well,
He's only cool in like extended universe stuff.
yeah, I don't love Maul in the movies. In the movies, and I think in all Star Wars media in general, I'm a Vader fan. He's my
think
favorite
Vader is
villain.
the best villain.
And I know that's cliche, but he's just is.
I think he's the best villain. I would also say that Palpatine is another really good villain because he's kind of behind the whole Vader thing. The Emperor Palpatine.
But I don't feel bad for him. I think part of the reason that Vader's such a good villain is because I kind of do feel bad for him. Because I knew who he was before.
Because everything he did was for his familia.
Yeah.
And kind of for him.
Also, yeah, but it was so sweet because he always had a shred of human in him. And you could always tell.
What I thought about?
He always loved Padme so much.
If you guys don't do the costume that you were going to do, then you're going to Anakin and Padme.
I did think about that, but I am not doing makeup like she had.
He hates the Queen Amidala.
I am not doing Queen Amidala.
Do like Senator Padme.
Yeah, I am
You
not
could come up with
dressing up like
The
Queen
flowers in your hair,
Amidala.
which
Yeah,
I
you could do
realized
the flowers in your head.
dead.
Was when she was dead also, but I think she might have had flowers at the wedding.
I could
You
double
could do a mix of like a bunch of different Padme outfits that you like.
if I could find a modest outfit for me to.
There are a few. That's why
Very
I said,
few.
That's why I said do a mix.
And George designed some of them for episode 3. So
I could always be kidnapped Leia.
I would assume for 2.
no, I think 3.
2 was when they were the most scandalous, I would say.
You might be right.
I think he specifically designed some,
The one
which
that
is
was
weird
like-
because she was like,
A corset,
18.
Like,
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that one, I think that was him.
Well, I do know.
He's like, it's very
but-
important for the story.
I know.
same thing with what.
Don't even get me started with Leia. With Leia's kidnapped outfit. Don't even get me started.
Yeah, that was...
But in her defense, it's not like she really picked it out. She was kidnapped. But still,
I mean, that outfit...
It was bad.
And now it's controversial, but that outfit was always called Slave Leia. Now that... Also, Boba Fett's ship used to be called the Slave One. But now they just call it Boba Fett's starship.
Or
Because that whole
Fire.
slave thing.
Well,
Doesn't sit well.
but that's kind
Nice
of what
shit,
she
Boba.
was. I mean, what do you think she was there
Not too
for?
crazy about the name, though.
Playing Tetris? Playing... What do you
Probably
think she was there
Space
for?
Tetris.
Yeah, probably Space Tetris.
She was going to take over
But-
for Max Rebo and play the weird space piano.
But, yeah.
That makes sense.
But I do like Star Wars as a whole. I don't like Big Fortuna at all. And I only like Maul in Rebels so far.
You'll like him in other stuff, too.
Not in the movies. I think he's a loser in the movies. But then again, in my defense, I've only seen the original trilogy once.
Well, he's not in the original trilogy.
See?
Exactly.
Exactly.
It is one of those things where
But
it's
I
like,
have only seen the original trilogy once. And I've only seen... Revenge of the Sith is the only one I've seen multiple times.
yes.
Because
It is a good
it's... Honestly... Well, I've seen A New Hope twice.
Yeah. You've seen
But Revenge of the
him twice.
Sith... I would probably only come back to the original trilogy. Not the original trilogy, the prequels over and over again. Those are the ones I like the best.
I know. Controversial.
I love
Not really
Anakin.
anymore, but
Padme's the best. I think Padme's my favorite character in all Star Wars. Leia who?
Which is very strange because Padme does next to nothing in the movies.
she does kind of
Every now and then she has a little bit to do.
Without her, Luke and Leia wouldn't exist.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, as far as on-screen appearance, screen time,
I don't want.
she doesn't
I just
get all
like
that
her.
much.
But I just like her.
No, that's perfectly fine. I'm just saying,
But I also love Anakin, and I love Obi-Wan, and I love the relationship they have.
I showed Annie the, what was it? Oh, the Clone Wars episode with Jar Jar and Padme and C-3PO, and that was like
Which
the
is all my
conversion
favorite
of all her
things.
favorite Star Wars characters.
That was incredible. Those are like all my
I
favorite
showed her
things.
that Clone Wars episode. Do you remember it?
Too bad
Where Jar
Grogu
Jar's
wasn't
just
in
like
there.
flailing around
Just watched
and he
it
knocks
not that
over the
long ago.
spaceship
Yeah.
and like crushes
Oh
it.
no, Jar Jar.
Exactly.
Well, it's actually C-3PO is my favorite Star Wars character.
Yeah.
He's just the best, and we call him Steve
Yes.
lovingly because when I first started watching Star Wars, I couldn't remember all their names.
Steve kind of has, you know.
Steve is C-3PO and Kevin is R2-D2.
Yes. Yeah, it's perfect. Anywho. I don't know. Anywho.
You know what I thought? You know what I thought?
What?
Since we've already taken a weird turn from what we were going to do, what if we pivot and this is the Star Wars episode now and you have Annie react to crazy Star Wars fan theories?
You know what? It kind of would have been epic if it turned out that Jar Jar was the evil mastermind.
That was one of the theories.
I've heard of that. And honestly, I would be scared of a world where Jar Jar's evil. Like in... what
Rebuild
was
the
it?
Galaxy. We
He
watched
was-
Rebuild the
Darth
Galaxy.
Jar
It was
Jar
good.
was
Darth
kind
Jar
of
Jar.
terrifying.
He was because he'd say Jar Jar
Yeah,
things, but
ew.
menacing things. Like, we're gonna do bad things to you. Yeah.
But it was kind of really good. I love the Lego Star Wars universe.
I do.
I love it.
I would say, I think Rebuild the Galaxy is an alternate as Elseworlds for Lego Star Wars.
of
Because they
course,
changed it
yeah.
a little bit too much to keep in line with the timeline that they had set.
But I love the way Jar Jar talks.
Playmaker
Weasel.
Adventures is one of the best things ever.
Okay, so I did find a Reddit thread on r/Star Wars, which is what is the wildest Star Wars theory that you've ever heard?
Okay.
You good?
I'm bracing myself.
You get bonus points if it's completely consistent with canon. So here's the first one. This is kind of light to me. Boba Fett knew that Lando had infiltrated Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi, which is Slave Land. So Boba Fett knew Lando was already there, and had reluctantly agreed to look the other way if Lando tried to sneak Han out in the middle of the night. This all fell apart when Luke showed up and caused a scene.
I can see that.
So you go ahead.
If you do think about it, what was the purpose of Lando being there?
Well, Lando's disguise was one of the worst disguises I've ever seen. You could see his face through the helmet. It's like, is that you, Lando? I could see Boba Fett knowing, right?
Uh-huh.
But I mean, maybe with the modern interpretation of friendly mayor Boba Fett that you have.
Wow.
But I don't think with the interpretation of Boba Fett you had back then that he would have looked the other way. Unless he was paid, which Lando was a rich dude. So maybe you paid him off. I could see that. I'd be more willing to believe that.
This theory means zero to me.
I'm sorry.
Because I watched, like I said, the original trilogy once, and honestly, don't remember it.
What did we start reading the other day that pertains to these characters?
Oh, the comic?
Yes.
Was it common?
Boba Fett, Enemy of the Empire. It's like a graphic novel. I loved that. That hit me at the perfect age.
So basically,
But yeah.
the theory,
Don't spoil it yet.
No. Basically, the theory is, so you know, like how Han is frozen in carbonite.
I don't remember any of this because honey, I remember it wasn't my fault.
So we're gonna watch them again.
But I'm sure I would enjoy it more if I actually sat and watched it, because I liked A New Hope, but
we watched A New Hope
remember
again.
zero.
A New Hope. Here's a New Hope theory. Obi-Wan contacted someone in Mos Eisley so they could inform the Empire the Jawas had the droids. He knew the Empire would find the Jawas and trace them back to Owen and Beru. When Anakin left Tatooine, his mother was still there, and that caused problems. With Luke, the Jedi weren't going to make the same mistake. No attachments.
I've heard people say that they think that Obi-Wan got Luke's aunt and uncle killed. And that's what that theory is saying. I don't believe it personally.
No,
I don't feel like
messed up.
I don't think Obi-Wan would do that.
I've heard the theory, and I can get down with this one probably. It's that Boba Fett killed Luke's aunt and uncle. Because they're like completely disintegrated. Which
Okay.
which now, with the way that we know disintegration from The Mandalorian, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But people are like, hey, stormtroopers don't typically carry flamethrowers. Who carries a flamethrower? Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Luke's aunt and uncle were smoldering piles of bones when they found them.
True.
The thought is that Boba Fett was like contracted to kill Luke's aunt and uncle, and
That can make sense.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
I like Boba
Also,
Fett.
and I think the newer edits of A New Hope, Boba Fett is on Tatooine when Jabba confronts Han.
Yeah.
He's there now.
That was a
Which
scene
used to
in
not
the
be there.
movie. They just didn't use it. It got cut.
But Boba wouldn't have been there because they made Boba Fett when they were making the second one.
Boba
they made the
sounds
suit.
great right now.
Apparently,
Actually, like the drink Boba.
I don't like the drink Boba.
Not like
It
Boba
has
Fett.
the, I don't like the like actual boba, but like the ones with that are filled with stuff.
Different juices.
Yeah.
They remind me of the things that the lady had in Big Hero 6. The purse made them.
Yes.
Yeah.
The squishy things.
When we went to our honeymoon, that mall in Bluefield,
Yeah. You got a boba from the
that
mall?
shop was incredible. We should go back soon.
Okay. They had a Five Below. And we
really?
almost went in there.
Wow.
I think that was the same one where we saw The Force Awakens. That mall.
Yeah.
They moved the theater, but
Oh.
yeah, now it's a
It was
separate
hard to
building.
find a theater.
It's a separate building now.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
you guys want to hear one? It's not possible to be canon, but this is like a vintage theory from like when the first movie came
Okay.
out.
Okay.
So it says, here's an old one from before the prequels, sequels, or extended universe, except for Marvel Comics and a few novels existed. Yeah, I'm old. Obi-Wan was actually a clone commander, originally
this one.
called Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Luke's father was another clone. The Clone War was fought against the droids. We don't serve their kind here. That one was going around before the internet was even a thing. Which kind of we don't serve their kind here could still refer to the Clone Wars and the droids being about.
I like that one.
I've never even thought about
Honestly, of course, that can't make sense now, knowing what we know. But I do like that theory. That's
People
a
thought
very
it was,
good.
He changed it from Obi-Wan to Obi-Wan, and that's why he was like, that's a name I haven't heard in many years.
Right.
Because that was like
Yeah.
his soldier designation. There would be Obi-One, Obi-2, Obi-3, Obi-4, and he was just number one.
That
was
would
the
have
thought.
been
Yeah.
such an interesting way for the movies to go if it had gone that way.
It is
drink
interesting.
water?
No, thank you.
It's just plain
Alright.
water.
Whoa. So speaking of interesting thoughts on C3PO and R2-D2. I heard someone say that R2-D2 and C3PO were actually two halves of a single entity and formed a sort of two-droid hive mind. When they appear to be disagreeing or bickering amongst themselves, it's actually one being's internal dialogue spoken aloud. It's not two droids arguing, it's one droid talking to itself. No bonus points for me, because that's not possible.
I would
Isn't
say,
that interesting?
I don't think it's exactly, but I think in even like the old books, they had very much a theme of, I think they've worked together and known each other for so long. They're friends, even though robots don't necessarily have emotions like humans do. Mm-hmm. I remember, and back to Star Trek, but I remember it was Data, the robot guy. He was talking about Data did not have emotions, right? He was a robot. He was not capable of feeling emotions. And that was something that he always wanted, right? And I remember there was an episode where a character from the original show had left and finally came back. And he described basically, even though he didn't have feelings, the way that his robot brain worked was that you develop basically pathways in the brain of patterns and stuff. And when the patterns are no longer there, you begin to miss that. So I think it could be similar with C-3PO and R2-D2. And also they call them counterparts.
Right.
But I think it's because they work together.
So what is human-cyborg relations mean?
I think it means he can talk to humans and cyborgs and robots.
That was
also,
he was a cyborg?
In
I know he's not.
some of the expanded universe stuff, they use the term Borg, again, back to Star Trek, but for cyborg, I believe. So
instead of android droid.
They use droid, but they also use Borg.
Gotcha. Well, this one's really crazy, and a lot of comments that I'm also going to read. So, before The Force Awakens came out, the theory that Kylo Ren was actually Luke was extremely widespread.
Yeah.
It was mostly driven by the fact that he wasn't in the trailers or any posters.
Yeah.
If you actually thought about it for 5 seconds, it made absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Kinda true.
Especially as there was another major actor that was heavily rumored to be playing the villain, who also hadn't appeared in the trailers or posters. And that Snoke was somehow Mace Windu. And I can't remember the details, but I know I once ran across something about Snoke being connected to Yoda in some way. Then someone else said to that, there were so many theories about who Snoke was. Mace, Luke, Palpatine, Plagueis, Vader clone, etc. Even saw someone thinking it was Darth Bane, since Circus said Snoke was ancient and had been in the shadows all this time or something like that. The Snoke is Luke theory even survived after The Force Awakens came out. Saw some theories claiming he was hiding his identity with holograms, or that it was his true form and old man Luke was a Force illusion.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not true, but interesting to think about.
I want to know how you feel about Mace Windu being alive. Do you think it's true? Just remember, he gets his hand chopped off.
Wow.
He gets thrown out a window.
I was going to say that fall looked pretty nasty.
But also, for years, people have been saying, well, you got to think, Luke got his hand chopped off in Empire Strikes Back and thrown down a giant chute, and he lived.
True.
There's a chance, and people have been saying it for years. Also, when they did the re-release of Revenge of the Sith in theaters, Samuel L. Jackson said himself, he's like, oh yeah, and Mace, he ain't dead. He even believes it.
You know what I think?
What?
I think when they made the movie, the original plan was for Mace Windu to be dead, but they're going to be so desperate and looking for content, they're going to bring him back.
I agree with
and be
that.
like, oh, he was never dead, but he really was.
I like how you're putting that, because I do believe that the original intention is that he was dead, along with Boba Fett.
But
the original intention was that he was dead.
He's
also,
back, guys.
Boba Fett being alive in canon is such a recent thing. Like, even when we were kids, up to the 2020s, Boba Fett was dead in Return of the Jedi, the third original trilogy movie.
I mean, we always knew he would come out of that.
And that was the biggest theory. It was like, I think he actually survived. And I remember that being a discussion that we had when we were kids. And I can't remember if it ever actually happened in... Maybe, I think it happened in comics, but it was like the Tag and Binks stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And I remember when it happened in The Mandalorian. It was like, oh, that's revolutionary because that's true now. What are you laughing about?
We're gonna do some really bad things to you.
Also, I just realized
I love Darth Jar Jar.
We need to call this episode Eric and Annie Talk About Star Wars Talk and see if you can find one of the old recordings to start it out. We did on our tape player. We recorded a podcast before we called it a podcast, but it was recorded onto cassette tape called Star Wars Talk, and we talked about Star Wars.
Oh, I like it.
Episodes for every episode. Mm-hmm. Okay, so anyway, this is really interesting, but there are some caveats. But, okay, in 1996, when I was just a kid, my older brother told me that the reason Darth Vader wore the suit was because he fell into a volcano and the suit was keeping him alive. That was absolutely wild to me at the time. Now it sounds normal, but back then it was so crazy and bizarre.
That's even more wild because it wasn't necessarily true at that point.
Wow, very interesting. People are like, that was a rumor in the 70s, and basically the consensus was, apparently like in comics, in novelizations, they'd like refer back to Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting on a lava planet.
Oh, really?
Now, whether or not that's true, I don't know.
That's interesting. I have the Star Wars novelization, so I might find that one day.
That's true. But the fact they nailed it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can see the scars, so you kind of have to think what would be the epicest, that's not a word, the most epic way to
That's
earn it.
true,
That's
because
They probably came up with that.
he does like get demasked and all that jazz.
Oh, see, this is
He's ugly.
a
Yes.
theory that I kind of don't disagree with.
He looks like the guy from the Addams Family.
Uncle Fester.
Yes.
Hey, Uncle Fester.
Dad,
Okay, sorry.
My
This is
dad's Uncle
actually-
Fester.
He
This
looks
is
like Uncle
literally about that.
Fester.
So,
Okay.
Vader is Uncle Fester. He survived. Okay.
Mortician
Vader
used-
/ Anakin could have been saved at the end of Return of the Jedi if he kept the mask on. But he didn't want to be saved because he knew that he would have to face justice for all the crimes he committed. He also knew that he would become one with the Force. So he lied to Luke about already dying and convinced Luke to remove his mask.
No, I don't believe it.
No, because he comes back a
It
good
was
guy.
the lightning.
But what did it do?
And all the stuff. No, and all
I know.
the expanded
That's
stuff. It is Palpatine had so much control over Vader in the suit. He designed it to where any like stray electrical bolt or force lightning shut off all his life support. So if he ever tried to kill Palpatine, he just had to go one zappity zappity, and he was incapacitated.
But think about this.
Yeah.
They could have just like got him an oxygen mask and thrown him in some Bacta, and he would have.
I don't think so. Also, you got to think, Vader. Maybe he's only like 40. That's not very old. But he'd been living a hard life.
That's true.
He ain't got most of his limbs anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or
This
any.
theory-
Or any. He's got no limbs
He's
left.
limbless.
He is limbless. You gotta think, when you've lived a hard life, you're gonna die earlier.
Well, but the thing was, like,
Yeah.
the evilness kept him alive.
Also, he gave up on evil and he
Yeah, I
can't
think
keep
that's-
himself alive with hatred anymore.
I think it's all right, but I do kind of.
It's almost as if his meanness were keeping him alive.
Because he turns back
Yeah.
before he dies,
No, it's
right?
true.
Like, he's
Yeah.
like,
It's true. That's why.
good.
But
That's why when
I've
he
always
comes
said in Star
back-
Wars, if you can get to him quick enough, you can save anybody. It's all about time. You just gotta throw them in some Bacta,
About
and they're
time
fine.
and I spend it.
You get stabbed, and people are like, "Oh, people get stabbed these days, and it doesn't matter." But like, Qui-Gon got stabbed, and it killed him. And I'm like, it's because he had been stabbed for a really long time.
I don't
In
know.
like the extended universe, like the TV shows and stuff, when people get stabbed, they immediately take them to the hospital, and they're fine because that's how it works in Star Wars.
I don't
I've
know
always
exactly.
understood it to be that way. Luke survived the Wampa in extreme cold because he was taken to because Han kept him warm, and then he was taken to the caves. I mean, to the
Diaper
the
tank.
base and to the Bacta. And so they were very clear that if he didn't have that, he was going to die. That's always the way it's been. I don't understand why people act like that. People are so mean about lightsabers these days.
We need to make a meme of Annie's face right now and just say, my wife's face would be my brother start talking about Bacta.
Listen,
Bacta is like the healing juice
You
from
remember
Star
in
Wars.
Empire
Oh.
when Luke's like basically in a diaper and they throw him in a tank?
Nope.
Well, anyway,
That probably covered your eyes.
Oh, okay.
that's pretty explicit. No. But anyway.
He's in, as we used to call it,
Also-
robot underwear.
Yeah.
Can I just, speaking of explicit in Star Wars, why are people so thirsty over Anakin? Why does everybody think he's like the best thing since like bread?
George Lucas was like, so in this scene, you're not going to have your shirt.
Exactly.
Like, we really need to show the battle scars, so...
Exactly.
Why does George want to show everybody naked?
I don't know.
Leia was
Weird.
basically
to be
naked.
fair, oh yeah, no, she was. But he was kind of tame it in the prequels.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I mean, he had a robe on.
guess. Not Obi-Wan.
Like, Obi-Wan was an old man.
No, he was not an old man.
Nobody wanted that.
Also,
Nobody wanted that.
Is it bad that I
Somebody
think...
probably wanted that.
Here's a strange take. I think Obi-Wan looks like better as he got older.
Oh yeah.
When he was young, I think he
Really?
looks weird.
I disagree.
Really?
I think he looks better younger.
I think in Revenge of the Sith. I mean
yeah.
prequels.
Okay.
I think from those 3 movies, I think
Oh,
peak
yeah.
Obi-Wan is Revenge
I
of
thought
the
you meant
Sith.
when he was like old.
No.
Oh,
He, like,
types of
starts looking
crusty.
like
When he's in the
Yeah.
when he's in the Padawan
Okay.
stage, he looks so weird.
Revenge of the Sith, I know what you mean. Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
agree with that, actually.
I agree.
You're correct.
Okay, this is probably the strangest.
Oh, dear.
So here's the theory. That the Star Wars galaxy exists in a microscopic universe relative to us, which explains a fair amount of differences in physics from the universe as we know it to what we see in the movies. I think the basic idea is that because everything is relatively microscopic, the distance and speed that the things like light and sound, etc., need to travel is infinitely shorter than how we would perceive it. I'm not a physicist, of course, so I couldn't really explain it more than that. But hey, why not?
Boo.
It's like the Who's.
That's my theory. It's not Horton Hears a Who Star Wars. I'm against that.
Interesting at the very least. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, they've done a comic, and I doubt it's 100% canon, where Indiana Jones finds the Millennium Falcon, and there's a skeleton of Han Solo inside of it.
What? That's kind
There's
of
another
cool.
person saying that when Empire Strikes Back came out, there was a theory about Darth Vader falling in a volcano with a fight with Obi-Wan. So this was
Maybe that was in
Well,
a comic or
widespread
something?
theory, I guess. Okay, so this is actually really, really incredibly interesting, especially with what we know from Episode 9. I think the... Oh, wait. Wait, hold on. I can't tell if this person is pro this theory or against it. The way it's worded. I think the Palpatine drains Padme's life force to sustain Anakin. I guess he's saying I think that.
Okay, that was a theory.
There's literally nothing to support
Can I
it
explain
in the
this?
text,
Oh.
but it's such a good inversion of how the Sith would stop people from dying. Crazy, but not completely ludicrous. I think it makes a lot
So the
of
thought is, Padme dies, and it's like she just lost the will to live, right?
Right.
The theory is that Palpatine was like, hey, I'm just going to take all that life from Padme, I'm going to put it into Anakin's withered body that's been chopped all to pieces to keep him alive, so I keep him, and she dies.
You know, I support that.
I mean,
That'd be
from episode
perfect
9,
for him.
yeah.
Because then Padme, Anakin's only
then
weakness,
he's
or
like-
Vader's only weakness is out of the
And
way.
then he's like, oh no, she accidentally died, and you did it.
And you killed her. And in a way,
Yes.
he did.
And in a
because
way
him
he did,
being
because
alive-
him being able to live killed her. I kind of like it. I don't think it's 100%, but I can...
You don't
it.
see it
I can drive
happen,
with that. I like that a lot, actually.
But like, also like, I'm totally down. You know, I'm down for the theory that Palpatine is like essentially
Anakin's dad.
in that he
Really?
through the Force somehow. I don't know how to say it nicely. Impregnated Shmi. Because like there's supposed to be there's no father, so it's like a Jesus motif.
Which
I don't
I'm
think
not
so.
comfortable with.
I think
that,
Palpatine
personally.
made that big
Yeah.
because he said to create life. The
And
pathway
they do a
of the
comic
dark
where
side.
they very much imply that.
Yeah. And
The pathway to the path of the,
the
dark
dark side of the Force is the pathway
to
to
many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
And he said that
The ability-
the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, he found out how to create life. He
See,
literally spells it out to Anakin. I think he's basically in that scene being like, hey, I'm your daddy.
that makes sense
And
because
that
we've
makes-
never heard of Anakin's dad other than that.
And that makes
Right.
that it would be with the
Just his
because
mom.
Sinister.
what I think it was George Lucas says Star Wars
Yeah.
is like poetry. It rhymes.
Uh-huh.
So that's why the movies are similar. In the middle
Right.
movie of the prequels, Anakin loses a hand. In the middle movie of Empire Strikes Back in the original, Luke loses a hand.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect rhyme to I Am Your Father.
Not only that, but moving it. Yeah, no, it is. Oh, that's
That is
great.
I Am Your Father. That
But-
is the rhyme to that. Is Palpatine's
Moving
like,
it
hey, you can
forward-
create life.
Moving it
That's
forward.
kind of wild, honestly.
Episode 9, because the chosen one is Anakin. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But is he technically not the offspring of Palpatine, which is the undoing? But it comes back and it turns out okay. But then also the offspring of Palpatine is also the one that turns it around in the end with Rey. Even though they don't like that, but it's just true. It is what happens. So that's
Allegedly.
and then she takes the last name, which she's totally entitled to,
No, she's
because
not.
everybody that says every Palpatine is saying they're Skywalker,
No.
because there are no Skywalkers
No.
after Shmi. I mean, technically speaking, the last name comes with the dad, and I'm not no dad, so.
But I say Rey Skywalker all the time to make Eric mad, and
Because
it's
it's not
very
true.
funny.
I love it.
It's a
I
lie.
think Rey Skywalker is so great. We
No.
also talked about the similarities between episodes.
I told her about that, yeah.
So nuts that I never realized.
Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
Different topic, you can go
I
ahead.
was
It's
going
still
to
Star
ask
Wars,
you to
but
share some of your theories, potentially for how you think Rebels is going to go, things like that.
I had a theory that I was convinced of, and I completely
It
forgot
was
it.
about it connected to the Ahsoka show and how you thought Rebels was going to end.
Okay. Now, I have not watched Rebels the whole way through. We're on
We're on season 3
3,
and we're about halfway through, I'd say.
and I'm really liking it so far. It's one of the better Star Wars shows that I've seen. My theory is that, was it in The Mandalorian when we saw Ahsoka with Chopper?
No, you were saying on the promotional material for Ahsoka.
Yeah, you're right. My Ahsokas get mixed up, but she was with Chopper, which is the droid for all the rebels in Rebels. So I was wondering if everybody else except Ahsoka and Chopper dies, and that's why she has Chopper. I find it's weird that she has him to me, and that's just a theory.
Back when Ezra
But
was
that's
using
just a theory.
back-
A Star Wars theory.
back when Ezra was using the holocron, you thought that he was going to become a Sith and kill everybody else.
I did, and
Which, I mean, honestly,
I'm
Also, there is a mysterious Inquisitor in the Ahsoka show.
Also, I'm not 100% sure Ezra's not going to turn back evil. What if he turns back evil and kills everybody else, and then that's why she has Chopper?
and then Maul is like, ha ha ha. You
'Cause-
turn evil. Now I kill you.
Because
Asian Darth Maul.
You just sound like that.
because
It's offensive.
Ahsoka wouldn't just take Chopper, I don't think,
He's like, I like you. You're coming.
because it wasn't her droid.
Yeah.
But she ends up with him and nobody else is anywhere. I want to finish it. Also, this is a kind of different topic, but how do we feel about Ryan Gosling in Star Wars?
I don't like
I hate it.
personally.
It's not good.
But so far,
I hate it.
the trend is that Ryan Gosling, as the term that I've heard from Mr. Rogers' neighborhood over there, is box office poison. Movies with him in it do not
that's
do well. When he's in like a
100
dude movie.
Yes.
When he's in like a chick flick like The Notebook, that does well. When he's in Barbie,
The
that
Notebook.
does well. But when he did I don't know if you've ever heard of Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Just talking about all the sci-fi. Of
course.
He did the sequel to Blade Runner.
In his defense,
The
there was-
book's on my
that-
reading list.
That did not go well. The Fall Guy. They did
Yeah.
the new version of a show that I grew up loving,
Yeah.
but it was like not really like it anymore from what I could tell from the trailers. And that movie did terrible.
Well, I think Ryan Gosling, the ladies like him. I think you should just stick to chick flicks. Everybody loved him in
Right.
Barbie, which Barbie was stupid in my opinion.
Yeah,
but
but-
everybody loved him in The Notebook. He was great in The Notebook.
That was a.
But now, anytime I see him in anything else, he's Noah.
I saw it was a Babylon Bee article, and it was like new check engine light for women just to have Ryan Gosling's face on it. And it showed him in the check engine light box, and it said, "Hey girl, check your engine."
That's hilarious. Or Hayden Christensen, apparently.
Apparently.
Okay, I have two more, and then we're going to end it. And the one is just confirming something you already said. Boba Fett was the one who tracked the droids to Lars' homestead and killed Owen and Beru. We know Boba Fett was on Tatooine at the time, since we see him in Docking Bay 94 with Jabba. And in my opinion, it makes sense why Vader would tell him no disintegration. It's an Empire.
Honestly, I can be down with that. theory.
That's one. That's like the Life Force one. It's like I'm fine with it. It's not 100% in my mind. It's not set in stone, but I think it's fun and possible.
I mean, to be fair,
you know?
like beyond Rogue One, because it is like directly before. But as far as like the events trying to find, like I assume that Vader didn't know that he had kids. Sure.
Yeah.
We can go with that. That's fine. But they were Inquisitors. They're Force sensitive. They're going after Force sensitive people. We know from Obi-Wan that the Force sensitive Inquisitors were on Tatooine. So I would assume that at some point they realized that there's so much Force happening here that, like, okay, oh, blah, blah, and, like, behind the scenes they're trying to figure out. Because why did they have them kill those people? I don't know.
Maybe because they... Well, here's what you got to think. The Empire, whenever you see them, they're very mean. They're ruthless, right?
Because they're evil.
So they're like, hey, where are the droids? We don't have the droids. Where are the droids? We don't have the droids. Okay, pew pew, search the place. Or if it was Boba Fett, where are the droids? He does it in that accent, and then he doesn't know and he kills him, because Boba Fett would just kill you for looking at him wrong.
True.
Okay, this is the last theory we're gonna read.
Can I add one real quick?
Go ahead.
How do we feel about stormtroopers? Everybody's like, oh, they're such elite fighters, but they always get taken down so easily. Right? There's multiple different theories. One is that they never hit anything because the Force basically protects the main characters.
Yes.
And makes them miss.
Yeah.
How do we feel about it?
I mean, yes.
Just asking the room, what do we think? Because it's like they're always said, oh, they're elite soldiers, but they're portrayed as, like, dumb.
Well, I would say that when Obi-Wan first had dealings with the Empire, this is going to go deep, you ready?
Okay.
The troops were really highly trained.
And they're very excited.
Right. Now that the Empire is just so massive, they don't have time to train everybody that great. So he's used to the stormtroopers being able to shoot really well, and them having the budget to make the armor super see-through, like, you know, the high visibility. But now it's like, Vader's like, oh, that looks really cool, and it's, wow, 10 times cheaper! I'll take 200,000 units, you know.
Well, there's a reason certain things were cheap, because that was in the novel Tarkin. They basically made, like, apparently Tarkin had, like, the galactic budget meeting, and was like, hey, we gotta make some stuff cheap around here. And it was known as the Tarkin Doctrine, basically.
It's so funny.
And that's why TIE fighters were made the way they were. No shields, no stuff, no life support.
What you're telling me is that Tarkin was basically Space Dave Ramsey.
Yes. He was like, you need to get on some space beans and space rice. Space rice and space beans.
Okay, this is the final one.
Okay.
And I'm actually, to your point about... Anyway, we will get into it. Here it is. Han Solo isn't a Jedi, but is insanely in tune with the Force. This explains his incredible luck, despite some awful blunders. He steps on a stick on Endor, which alerts the scout trooper, leading to the speeder bike chase. This leads to Leia getting separated and meeting with the Ewoks, who helped the captured rebels defeat a legion of stormtroopers and bring down the defense shield. This lets the outnumbered and trapped rebel fleet destroy the second Death Star and the death of Vader and Palpatine. The Galactic Empire fell because Han Solo accidentally stepped on a stick.
Okay.
No. Here's why. He is not in tune with the Force even a little bit. Not at all. I mean, everybody is a little bit, but no. The Force itself has to make things work out. And so because the Empire,
almost like there's a storyline that's set.
That, like, everything has to be balanced, right?
So basically it's just space Calvinism.
Yeah, right. The bad guys were so big that they had to be balanced out. So therefore, the Force had to use the stupidity. No, yeah, I know.
You're good. Go ahead.
Can we put a Star Wars content warning on the beginning of this one? Hey, this is executive producer Roger from Eric and Annie Talk About. I just wanted to say that this episode contains some very heavy, deep discussions of Star Wars, and if you don't care, you might want to skip this one.
Exactly.
But, like, the idea being that, like, the reason that Luke Skywalker is so powerful is not just because he's a Skywalker, but also because the Force needed a really powerful good person because he was the only good person left, right? The same reason that Rey is so powerful, but also the same reason that Kylo Ren is so powerful. There aren't legions of Jedi anymore. Yeah. So one person has to have the power of all.
I know. I think all of this is canon, kind of.
It's not, but it is.
I don't know if I agree 100% because I think part of Star Wars is that everybody has a shot to do the right thing and conquer evil. And if it's, there's, if it is space Calvinism 100%, that it's all going to work out in the end, then just don't try. Because then it will all work out. Han Solo somewhere will step on a twig and make it happen.
Disagree, because it might not work out for you. You might die if you don't do what you're supposed to do. But like the grander theme being that, which I don't 100% agree with, because then what's the point of good triumphing if everything has to be balanced 100%?
Exactly. Then there's no like, chance. That's kind of, I think, in the way, that's kind of like, especially in the novels of Lord of the Rings. Oh my goodness, we're touching all the nerd subjects today. But there's a character who's not in the movies named Tom Bombadil.
Yeah.
And basically, they're like, hey,
Bombadil.
He's like ultra powerful, but he's almost like a hobbit. And basically he's like, hey, can I see the ring? And they hand it to him, but the ring usually corrupts him. He's like, haha, this is nice. Here you go. He doesn't care. He's lived for like 20,000 years. And he's like, yeah, I've seen evil rise, and I've seen it fall. And, you know, it'll get triumphed over eventually. Bendu, or Bendu and Maz Kanata.
Yeah.
But it's basically like, he's like, I don't care.
Maz Kanata's good.
You know, 100%. he's like always running around happy. He's like, I don't care. Everything's going to be good in the end, basically. And if Star Wars is, everything's just going to work out in the end, which, from a movie standpoint, Star Wars says everything's going to work out in the end.
Right.
But if the laws of your universe is that everything's going to work out in the end, then that's not as fun.
Well, it's less, I think the idea being, it's less that everything's going to work out in the end, and it is more that, which I guess kind of in life, like things kind of, you know, something really, really bad happens, but then something really, really good happens. You know, life is like, ooh, it's a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's kind of the world. I don't know.
I would also say that, to a certain extent, some things that happen, you kind of have to write it off as plot, you know, for the movie.
Sure.
Not everything can have 100% a reason, basically.
No, yeah.
Like, Han Solo steps on a twig and that causes all this to happen. Yes, but also, it is a movie.
Well, I don't see, like, so the Force told him to do that?
The Force put a twig in his way?
The Force worked it out, you know?
Yeah. Some things do happen by chance.
Oh, sure. Yeah. For sure. I mean, there's nothing to say that they wouldn't have found the Ewoks anyway.
Yeah.
It's taken a lot of leaps in knowledge, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway. Alright. Fun fact. Or recommendation.
You have anything else you want to say? You've been fairly quiet. I'm sorry.
That's because a lot of it goes over my head. I'm a casual Star Wars watcher at this point, and I hate the Lord of the Rings.
Jar Jar Binks is your favorite. You're not casual.
But I don't know half the things. So...
my recommendation is a novel I finished recently. Star Wars Heir to the Empire. It's the original sequel trilogy, basically. It's very, very good and fun. I like it a lot.
I recommend you be nice to Jar Jar Binks, and if I see any negative comments, I'm deleting them and calling your mom. So, be nice.
All right.
Or me's gonna come get ya.
That's right.
All
Anywho.
right. We shall see you in the next one.
Catch you
Bye.
next time.